Hello dears, welcome to a new session. Today we are going to discuss about a very simple at the same time an interesting content which is coming under the plus one physics. The topic is triangular law of vector addition. Before starting the topic, let's recall what we have studied so far. What do you mean by a vector? Yes, very good. Any physical quantities which is having magnitude and direction, right? Magnitude and direction together, right? Any physical quantities which is having both magnitude and direction can be called as vectors. So can you cite some example for vectors? Very good. What are they? One is displacement. Very good. Displacement. Displacement. Can you say another? Can you say another? Yes, velocity, velocity, velocity. Then again, yes, very good. Force. Force is another kind of vector. And so many are there, right? Displacement is there, velocity is there, force is there, acceleration is there. So many, right? Acceleration is a vector, and so many examples for vectors. Today, we are going to study about how to add two vectors. How to add two vectors. And there are two laws of adding vectors. Okay, vector addition. So first among this is triangular law of vector addition. And there is another law also which is known as parallelogram law of vector addition, which will be discussed later on. So triangular law of vector addition is a simple law. Okay, so let's move into that. Okay, I am drawing a vector. Two vectors I am considering. Listen very carefully. Let me draw two vectors. One is like this. Let me call this vector A. Okay, vector. So the vector which is having a line and an arrowhead, right? So this is all the things you studied in the previous sessions about the vectors, right? So let me draw another vector, that is B. So I can use another color for vector B. Okay, this is known as vector B. Okay. So I want to add these two vectors. That is, I want to do an operation that is A plus B, vector A plus B. So I can write like this, A plus B. Are you ready to add these two vectors? Yes, very good. So listen. So according to triangular law of vector addition, if you split this statement, if they split this heading, you will get a familiar word that is known as triangle, triangular. So what do you mean by triangle? A triangle is a polygon which is having three sides, right? Three sides. So let me draw a triangle like this, right? Triangle like this. So what we are going to do now, these two vectors A and B, we are joining this A and B. Okay. We are joining this A and B such that this A and B become A and B comes as the two sides of a triangle. Okay, this A, we are joining the A and B such that this A and B, these two vectors A and B becomes the two sides of a it's two sides of a triangle. Okay, so listen what I am doing now. I will show in an animated manner. Okay, so see, this is vector A. Okay, so here I am writing that A plus B, that is B is adding with A. So what I am doing now, I am selecting B. Okay, I am selecting B and the tail of the vector B, right? So vector B has an head and also it have a tail. So what I am doing now, I am taking the tail of the vector B and I am fixing this vector B, the tail of the vector B, to the head of vector A. Okay, like this. Tail of vector B to the head of vector A. Okay, very good. So we got the figure like this, and we need to get the answer, right? A and B are added. So A is like this, the direction of A like this, okay, direction of B like this. So the third side of the triangle, see? So this became the two sides. You just imagine that this A and B became the two sides of a triangle. So how many sides a triangle have? Very good. A triangle have three sides. Okay, so I'm drawing. Let me draw the third side. Okay, so arrow mark also you just listen carefully. And I'm drawing the third side. So this is the third side of the triangle. Very good. We got the third side. So let me mark with another ink. Okay, yeah. Yes, green. Good color. Okay, yes. This is the third side of a triangle. But one thing, so in which direction I want to give the head of this arrow? Okay, the third side is known as a resultant side. Okay, so you students, you expect that, we expect that the arrow, the direction of arrow to be given to the third side is in this direction. But this is wrong. Okay, so we need to give the arrow tail, okay, towards, see, yeah. So this is the resultant. So the third side of the triangle is known as resultant. The arrow must be given in the opposite direction. That is here. This is the resultant of the vector. Okay, so A in this direction, B in this direction, and the resultant in the, not this direction, but the resultant will be in the opposite direction. So this vector, the third side of the triangle, is known as the resultant. Okay, so resultant is marked as the vector. A and B are vectors, no? So resultant also must be the vector. So R is equal to A plus B. Okay, so this is known as the resultant. Just like we do a simple mathematical operation. So if I ask you what is 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2 is 3. So 3 here we can say the 3 is a result in the case of simple number addition. But in the case of vector addition, so if two vectors are added, A and B are added, you will get the resultant. So the direction of the resultant is like this. Resultant is the sum of A plus B. So let me summarize this one. The triangular law of vector addition, two vectors are added such that the vectors that we are selecting for adding is made as the two sides of a triangle, and hence the third side of this triangle, which is marked in the opposite direction, is calculated as the resultant of these two vectors. This method of vector addition is known as triangular law of vector addition, and this is the most simplest method of vector addition. And I hope all of you understood this session, and if you have any doubt, feel free to ask me. So we'll be back with more interesting topics on physics. Until then, all the best, study well, goodbye.